Just do it. What's going on, guys? It's Steeler here, back again with yet another episode of RDX Podcast. Sorry, we're a little bit late, but we are here. We got a phenomenal panel, as always. Before we get into the big topics, I've got to introduce everybody because I've got a massive echo in my ear right now. So, Luca, what's going on? Thanks again for showing up. Tell people how you been, what you've been up to over the last week.
Hey man, happy to be here for another great episode of RDX Podcast. We got my homie Rand here, so I think we're going to have a really good time. Haven't been doing too much, just relaxing, podcasting, playing a couple of games, you know, the regular.
The regular. And we also got some really good RDX questions we're going to go through as well. So if you're one of those, stay tuned. Hey, Colt, what have you been up to, brother? I know you're playing Crackdown right now.
I am. Nothing, just been hanging out, just waiting for some new games. Just a bunch of news, just relishing in it right now. It's been pretty good.
Hell yeah. We also do have, of course, our resident goat petter here. D-Batch, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? What's going on? Just running in from work. Yeah. Busy day.
Yeah, well, grab a drink, man. Grab a drink. It's going to be a good show. We also got Rand Al Thor, the man with the million. Which one do you want to go with today, Rand? Man with a million what?
Whatever you want to go with, bro.
Okay, we'll go Man with a Million podcast.
Frauds.
How about
Man
that?
with a Million Frauds?
Yeah, Man with a Million Frauds. What's going on, man? Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on, and I am excited. I'm on a podcast with Colt Eastwood.
He's on a podcast with Colt Eastwood, everybody.
Oh my god! And I
the rest of us.
I believe this is the first time on a podcast with D as well. So
yes,
yeah.
I believe so. Yes, funny. I was watching one of your videos today, so good to see.
Oh, cool.
Well, I think that's everyone. I'm pretty sure I got everyone. Thank you guys so much for showing up, especially those that are already here. We're going to start talking about some light topics as we always do. Keep in mind. We're going to get into some really good stuff tonight. Hit that like button if you're here early. We appreciate it. And let's talk about this whole State of Decay pricing debacle going on here, okay? Because this is the only thing people can kind of think about here lately. Luca, I know you've done some rather fraudulent podcasts here lately. What are the opposition saying about this? What's going on?
Well, unfortunately, it's not just the PlayStation guys. I've seen Xbox guys freaking out about it as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically, there was a pricing error for State of Decay 2. They had it listed as $30 instead of $60. Of course, since a game's only $30, it means it's trash. It's not worth anything. They didn't put anything in it. They didn't do anything for it. It's, obviously
complete
right?
garbage. Yeah, complete
garbage. So I'm just like, okay, cool. And I've asked around, and one of my first questions is, how much was the first State of Decay?
$20.
I was like, oh, okay, cool.
They didn't know that? Are you telling me they didn't know the price of the first game?
No, they told me that it was $20. Oh. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, okay, so is this an official listing? Well, no, Luca, but I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand why people freak out over the most ridiculous things. It's kind of like if you just use your brain and use simple logic, you'd realize that it's not that big of a deal. I don't even understand how you're like, okay, this game is listed as $30. It's automatically trash. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it doesn't help their narrative, right?
We're grasping for straws.
Rand, how many sites have this as $30?
I don't think any of them do anymore.
Oh, wow. How weird how that changed so fast. So does this remind you of maybe like some other bullshit where people see something that could possibly be negative about Xbox and they kind of run with it as fast as possible, and then a day later they look completely stupid?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, my video is more like, I made a video, but I made it more about the idea of like the importance people put on dollar. If it's $60, it's great and amazing. If it's anything less than that, it must be terrible, even though like What Remains of Edith Finch, one of my favorite games, the games that you enjoyed, that was $20. And
phenomenal.
Like Hellblade. I mean, there are great titles for whatever amount of prices. So people just look at it like if it has to be 60, otherwise it's going to be bad. And
that is a really bad mindset to have.
I mean, people have that mindset, but it's a little knee-jerk reaction. I mean, I said, like, I think it might be a price error, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. Obviously, the thing about State of Decay is people are grasping at straws here, dealer. Nobody knows anything about the title. Nobody knows
Little did they know all the straws have already been taken, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Shit.
I just don't understand. Why can't people just wait before commenting on things that sound illogical and just wild, you know? Just wait a little bit before making your fucking videos or doing your podcast or making stupid asinine tweets on Twitter. I don't get it, because you end up looking like an idiot the next day. What's the point of that? I always feel
and it was just one store, right?
Like, I feel hesitant about commenting on rumors like this because it's kind of like, man, that sounds really out there. I don't think I'm going to comment on it because I'm going to end up looking like a fucking idiot the next day. And that's usually what happened. They look stupid. You look stupid. A lot of these
guys have amnesia, though. Didn't this just happen like a week or two ago where something was taken out of context and everyone freaked out?
I mean, that seems to be the case. Everything is taken out of context. Everyone freaks out about it. And then it's like the next day or the next few days, it's kind of like, oh.
It's and like some guy that you're on a show with, I saw, he was like, Phil Spencer said that single player games don't matter, and link me. You're a liar, right? People are just constantly taking things out of context.
I do think it was a knee-jerk reaction, but to be fair, I think the price has something to do with Recore, because Recore was, priced similarly, and it was kind of an average, mediocre game. And I think because this price error was giving that same price, people are thinking, oh, okay, this game's going to be mediocre.
I get that. I get that, D, but that is a stupid mindset to have. I'm sorry. If you think like that, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, there's really nothing else I can say. There's been plenty of games, like Rand said, that are good at $30. Yeah. And the amount of trash AAA games that we get, like, are we forgetting the first Battlefront, which basically charge you an extra $50 for their season pass? They didn't give you anything. So, like, what are we doing here? Just because a game is 60 doesn't automatically mean it's going to be good.
So there's a few layers of fraudery here. For one, it was just one store in the UK saying it was $20-$30, right?
No, it was quite a lot, actually.
Okay, well, it was several stores in the UK. How many stores?
Game, Amazon,
and all these were UK retailers, or was it?
There was just UK.
Okay.
UK retailers.
So that's one sign, right? So you'd automatically be like, oh, I might want to watch out. There might be a spiked floor. I might look like an idiot in a second. So you got to take that into account. Secondly, the first game was $20, right? I think, and it was absolutely phenomenal. The best zombie game ever made, bar none. When it comes to what I wanted and what a lot of people wanted from a zombie game, to me, best zombie game ever made. So to say you can't get something for $20, it's absolutely phenomenal. Even if the second one is just the first one with co-op, I'm satisfied. So, say what?
Cuphead. There's tons of great games at that price.
Cuphead was amazing, and I think Below is going to be priced similarly, and a lot of people are looking forward to Below.
So even if it is $30, who cares? It's going to be State of Decay. That's what I want. I want State of Decay. It's been 5 years, 6 years since we've had one. Counting the original or whatever. So it's time for something new. I'm ready for it. Let us know what you think in the chat. And shout out to almost 300 people joining us live already. Please hit the like button. It really helps a lot as we kind of go into the next subject. Sledgehammer.
Dealer, what happens if a month from now, when they actually reveal the game, it actually revealed it at $40 and you got to revisit this topic again?
That's fine. I mean, I forget. Like, do people want what? Because what if it's a $70 game better than a $60 game? I'm confused, right?
Yeah, and it's also kind of like that will be an official listing. It'll be official. We're not just speculating and commenting on rumors. And another thing, I'm sorry, Game Pass is $10. So technically speaking, if you want to, you can just spend $10 for these games.
That is a good point.
Why is this even a subject? I don't get it.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of want to know what the chat thinks, because there are so many perspectives on this. It could go so many ways. Like Rand said, what if it does come out at 40 or even 30? As long as it's quality, I don't care.
If you want State of Decay, why don't you just pay for 1 month of Game Pass and play the heck out of it for 30 days and then cancel it? Say, hey, I played it for $10. It's like,
it's either rent it every game, 200 games almost on Game Pass for a month for $10, or go rent one game for a week for $8 at a store. Pick your poison, So.
And from what we've seen so far, we know at least it's a AA game at the very least. So. It's got content for sure, and
it doesn't matter. But you know how much I heard about Gravity Rush and all this stuff getting hyped up? Well, these are just facts, okay? That was not a AAA game. No. Yakuza 0. Half of this stuff that gets pushed, it's okay because it doesn't matter for some reason for them. But when this game's a AA game, or when it may be less than $60, it does matter. So I'm sure we have 1 or 2 people in denial out there listening. You tell me, right or wrong. Many of you were pushing those games, and they're not AAA games. So,
and I said it like I think last summer I played Gravity Rush, and I said on the podcast, I said this game is horrible. Like, what do people see in it? It was garbage.
Well, I'm not saying it's garbage because there's a game for everybody, right? I never said it was garbage or that it sucked. I'm just saying that people were pushing that just as hard as they would God of War. Believe it or not, that's how desperate things were.
Yeah.
So it was pretty bad. Colt, what do you think about these these Activision scumbags, right? The guys behind World War II, they went and became executives at Activision, correct, Rand?
I believe that's the case, yeah.
Man, cashing in. What do you think, Colt?
Well, I'm having a little problem with Activision lately. I might go on a mini rant. Yeah, I don't. They're they're doing some greasy stuff lately.
Lately?
I'm talking like the past. We were just talking the other night about what Activision did to a beloved series, Guitar Hero. They milked the crud out of it and until the teat was wrinkled and off-white color. They ruined it. All
crusty and shit.
Yeah. They just went way too far with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, I don't know. They don't care. They're just, that's just how they do with the money.
And they did come out with a guitar every single year, didn't they? Van Halen, Metallica, Beatles,
they destroyed it in a 5-year period. I think it was when it launched 07 and it ran for about 5 years till people couldn't stand the series anymore.
But Colt, has Activision ever done something as nasty as charge $10 for a save slot though?
That's brutal.
That's true.
That's actually a topic. We're going to destroy Konami here in a few minutes, guys. So join in with us.
Very clairvoyant.
Yeah, it's great. We can't wait. Konami, fucking bastards. The ESRB are adding in-game purchases to their ratings label on the games, right?
Nice.
That's interesting, and I think that's more important than what people know, because that means they've gotten a lot of negative feedback about microtransactions. Hey, my kid keeps spending my credit card money because I'm an idiot and can't watch my kid. What do you think caused that, Colt?
Well, you've got different regions on the planet that are trying to outlaw and treat it as real gambling. Like Hawaii and some other regions are trying to consider that actual gambling and make it, illegal to put into games and get rid of it in those regions. So they're making a real deal out of it.
Mm-hmm. I got a quick question, Colt. Are you playing Crackdown right now?
No, I turned it off.
Okay. Let everyone know what you think about the X version of Crackdown. What'd you notice?
Oh, okay, so I remember I was just playing Crackdown 2 on the 360 like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, it looks rough, but it's still a fun game because I'm a fan of the game. But I loaded up this enhanced version, and I'm sitting 4 or 5 feet away from my big screen 4K TV, and I cannot believe how sharp the details are. Like, you can see the texture on the dude's on
there's only one texture in the game. That's why
you got that one texture. But dang, does it look good? No, so like you have like your asphalt and sidewalk textures look really they're kind of muddy, but like all of the
it's sharp
polygonal stuff. I don't know if that's the right word. Like all of the
polygonal,
everything like that just like looks really sharp and crisp. And the game, what it looks like to me is it looks like a PC port from a 10-year-old game, which is basically what it is. And I would, if you guys got it, Games with Gold, I think it was given out free like 2 years ago on Games with Gold. If you happen to get it, go check your to be installed list. And if it's in there, take the few minutes to install it and just load it up and just look at it. Even if you don't want to play it, just kind of be in wonder of how cool. They just said, hey, here's a free enhancement. Here's a game you already own. Here's a game you may have wanted to play again for the heck of it. It's really cool.
So of course, I'm an idiot. So of course I got the people deserve a little bit of context. Crackdown is back compat now, right? And it's actually X1X enhanced as well.
They did a two-fister on us today. They said Crackdown 1 is backward compatible, plus it's X enhanced 9 times resolution bump. So with the performance mode, which I don't know if you'll see much difference.
Which nobody's bragging about, but I would say it's cool that it's so easy to do that they just said, fuck it, we'll do it. So there's a resolution mode or graphics mode, and there's a performance mode. Just know that if a game has a frame rate cap of 30, let's say Gears 3, That game only maxes out at 30 because of the cap. VSync is the end-all be-all there. You only see it at 30, but I think it's locked either way. But they wanted to make sure that every game with performance caps or issues had an option to be locked at a frame rate. So they did add a performance mode. Or if a game has a frame rate cap unlocker, like I think one of the BioShocks does, you can turn that off and it'll just ping out at your maximum refresh rate of your TV. So they give you an option, performance or graphics. Just know that if there's a cap there, you won't see the frames. And
you tested Gears 3 today, and
it's definitely 30.
So it stays at 30, but
I think it stays at 30 either way. I think this is just some system level stuff they built in, which is cool. But I'm putting myself to sleep. So you guys should know ESRB. You see the rated ETM, all that stuff, and it says Y, nudity, cussing, blah blah blah. Now they're going to say in-game purchases as well if the game has it. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to combat developers who wait 3 months or longer to add microtransactions. I don't think they will, but we'll see how that goes.
But does that change anything, though?
No, not really.
I mean, in-app, because it's supposed to cover loot boxes, microtransactions, DLC, anything that you can buy in the game. So, like, for instance, State of Decay 2, they've said they're only going to have DLC. So it's going to have in-app purchases just the same as Star Wars Battlefront 2, which has loot boxes. So it's still not clear, and it doesn't really clear up anything to anybody.
Are they going to say in-app purchases if it's DLC or just like
if the game offers any sort of thing you can buy within the game, like whatever it is, DLC, microtransactions, they just slap it with in-game purchases.
So every single sticker is just going to have in-app purchases on it.
Yeah, so there's no differentiation between loot boxes or any of that stuff. It's just all the same to them. So it's still, I mean, I guess it's one step forward, but I still think there needs to be a little bit more regulation, I guess.
Something, right?
It's not going to deter it, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. Luca, okay. This is where I need your feedback, okay?
What's up?
Konami. These fucking assholes. All right? Metal Gear Survive. Not only does the game run at a lower resolution and look worse than Metal Gear Solid 5 on every platform, it doesn't even hit 60 on the X right now or the base Xbox One. I think they need to patch it. But they've decided to do that. They decided to put all these tropes in there and try to capture all the most popular genres and throw it in and really compromise their own brand in favor of coming out with Survive and making it to where you got to buy save slots. So you only get a few save slots. If you want another character, you have to pay $10 to unlock that. Yes, this is real, people. Konami are charging you $10 for a save slot. Let us know what your thoughts are on this, Luca, real quick.
Honestly, I was waiting for this game, and I was just sitting, in my room, twiddling my thumbs, just thinking, I wonder what fuck shit they're gonna add to this game now that Kojima's gone. Like, I just knew it was gonna be something outlandish and just nuts. And wow, God willing, it's outlandish and nuts. I would, oh my God, I wish I could say I'm shocked that they would do something like this, but I'm really not. Once again, Konami proves that they're pieces of shit. You should not support this game. Don't support any of their games. All they care about are their fucking pachinko machines, and just they don't care about those IPs. Those are just IPs that they're gonna use to milk and get as much money as they can out of it by putting the least amount of effort. $10 for a save slot? Like what are we doing here? I'm shocked that there are not more outlets actually talking about this. I understand that Metal Gear Survive is trash and garbage, but this should be like everyone should be speaking about this. This should be blowing up. This is
like pushing the limits of fuckery in the industry, right?
I'm just like I said, I'm not shocked that they did it. I'm just kind of like, well, it's Konami, so what did we expect?
Do we know if you get like 3 with the base game? Do we know anything like that?
You get 1 free save slot when you start, and then you have to buy any additional slots. And that's not it's not a pack or a bundle. You buy a new save slot each time. So depending on how many times you want to restart the game, or if you're like, oh, I'm going into a rough area, let me just slave real quick, you have to keep buying save slots.
Oh man,
fuck Konami, dude.
It's so bad, man.
They're awful.
It's so bad. D, what do you think about this shit?
I don't know. They're just so disrespectful. Not only do they take this guy's game and like chop it and screw it, they're really gonna charge $10. When I first saw that, I thought it was just some bullshit. Then I actually saw a video on it, and I couldn't believe $10 for a save slot. Like these guys, they're hurt bags. Straight up, they're hurt bags.
They're real. It's all real. I know there's people that are still in disbelief. Motherfuckers trying to save you, like charge you for save slots. Like this is
this is a first. This is a first. I've never heard of that before.
No, I think it is a first, and leave it to Konami, who don't make anything, by the way. They went primarily mobile because they know they can get away with the most sleazy trash. They then bring their mobile practices into AAA gaming and really devalue what is AAA gaming. It's fucking horrible, and it's dangerous, too. You think it's okay this time, wait till it happens again. Activision's like, oh, wow, Konami beat us in fuckery. Now we need to try it.
So, hey, can I play devil's advocate for a second here?
All
right, because I saw this in chat. So pretend I'm Jersey Jim, who just said, "Why do you need a second save slot anyways? Who cares? The game is incredibly fun and addictive." Yeah. So I ask you guys, as a big wig at Konami, we gave you one save slot for free. Deal with it.
Well, play devil's advocate again and tell us what you would say to that idiot fuckface at Konami.
Oh, man. I mean, the consumers have spoken. What was it, down 85% from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance in the UK for launch week? Or like 5% of what Metal Gear Solid 5 did?
Oh, my God.
This game is... Nobody cares about this game. It's gonna burn, and the Metal Gear franchise... I mean, it's dead without Kojima. Everybody knew this. This is just
Konami just don't know what they're doing anyway. Like I said, they don't make anything else. Right.
And no one was happy about the idea when it was first announced anyway. Like, what? Who asked for this? So it was doomed from the beginning.
I mean,
they don't care about the consumer. They're all about the money, the bottom line. Like if you even put like 2 seconds of Konami footage on your channel, they strike you right away to get that profit. Like it's ridiculous.
Diaz dealt with this.
Speaking of footage, did everybody take a look at D's digital self in UFC? This week it was great.
He's like, I told you I'd be tall one day. Made himself into a giant.
I was watching D's video. I'm like, holy smokes, that is D in his underwear.
Yeah, I gotta say though, EA did a great job with it. It's their game face technology, so it applies to all of their sports titles, like the basketball games and of course UFC. But it's spot on. Unlike the 2K series, although I love the 2K series, the games play fantastic. But their face uploading technology is horrible. Every time I don't want to say the word, but you just come out looking
like an idiot,
like a Frankenstein, man. It's horrible.
Well, I want to give a shout out to 400 people watching live real quick, 20 minutes in. We appreciate it, guys. Hit that like button if you can as we continue talking. Just kind of wrapping up the Konami thing, guys. If you're just joining, Konami charging $10 for a save slot. People hate it a lot. What the fuck you want me to say? It's crazy. I can't believe they're doing this. Cole, have you spoken on this?
No, I mean, that's all I have to say about it. And that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I had to say about that. Yeah, it's really bad. I'm almost at the point where it's like, okay, guys, go attack Konami. But I know that would be a horrible thing to do. That's how much it annoys me. So let us know in the chat. Don't damage control, even if you're a fan of this game somehow. It's not pro-consumer, and you don't benefit from this in any way. That's how you should look at things. Do I benefit? Oh, no. Okay. It's that simple.
No damage control.
It's not great, right? So fuck Konami. And also now's the part where I got to kind of pay the bills real quick. League Gaming Podcast, they're sponsoring the show yet again. Of course, I will have it linked in the description down below after the show. Check out League Gaming Podcast. Mariano and all those guys were cool enough to sponsor the show. If you want to sponsor the show, check out the Patreon link in the description. Thank you guys so much. Monster Hunter. This game is doing extremely well. Even to this day, it's still selling out, being restocked on Amazon. What do you think the deal is here, Rand? I didn't think this thing was going to sell out and be restocked on Amazon every other day on Xbox like it is now.
Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty nice to see that Monster Hunter World is selling extremely well, not only on Xbox, but PlayStation as well. Maybe it goes a long way to dispel the notion that Xbox gamers don't support Japanese games, maybe?
Yeah, I think it might. I think it might. How many do you think it sold on Xbox, Rand?
What did they announce? 6 million shipped? I would imagine probably at least 2 million. I think it's probably 4 million, 2 million. Maybe a little bit more. I mean, because you got to figure it's going to be huge in Japan, big overseas. So there's
like no Xboxes over there.
Yeah,
right?
so definitely 2 to
I would
1,
agree.
probably even a little bit higher than that. So, but right around 2 million, I would imagine.
Yeah, I was going to say 2.5 for Xbox, but that sounds about right. Yeah, there's like 18 Xboxes in Japan, and that game's massive in Japan, so that's a pretty big install base over there for that. But there are some people that say, well, this game or that game shouldn't come to Xbox because it's not going to do well. And I say that you never know. And even if it doesn't do well, you should come to Xbox anyway because you would benefit options, right? So I think it's cool. Anybody really into this game? Colt, you played it for a little bit.
I was at first, and then I just wasn't really making it with me. I was having problems with it, like trying to figure out some of the weapons. I wanted to try the other weapons, and they just felt really clunky. And I don't know, I just kind of didn't want to play it anymore. But I really liked it at first. It just happens like that sometimes with games.
Mm-hmm.
Did you even try it at all, Dealer?
Yeah, I did. I got I'm on all the achievements except for all of them but one. And I got one achievement. That's what I'm trying to say. I didn't get very far. I'm just going to keep it real. So, yeah, I didn't care for the game. Too grindy. And it wasn't really for me. So, but what I am playing is fucking Doom. 2015's Doom.
Finally.
That's my biggest sin against gaming in a long time is passing up on that game and writing it off. Even though that game is kind of the same thing over and over and over. The music is up my alley there. I could go to the gym to that music all day. It's so polished. It looks phenomenal on the X. And I don't know, Rand, what did you think about Doom real quick?
The one from a couple years ago?
Yeah.
You're gonna slap me.
Uh-oh.
But that was a game that came out right before I hit 1,000,083 where I couldn't score any points. So I bought it but didn't play it. And I've been waiting for the Xbox One X patch before.
Fuck the X patch. I was doing the same thing. The game looks phenomenal. They told
I know it looks phenomenal, but they said they would patch the game, so I'm waiting for the patch.
It's pretty awesome. Jersey Jim, it's $10 in the super chat. He says, "There, now you can buy a save slot." Thanks, man.
That's awesome.
It's well appreciated. I don't need some of those save slots for a game I'm not fucking supporting. Little Nightmares getting a Switch port. That's a pretty good game. Really fucked up, actually. I don't know if any of you guys have played Little Nightmares. I know you have, Rand. What am I saying?
You're damn right I played that. That game's awesome.
Yeah, it's odd, man, but it's a good odd.
Yeah, it's kind of like Inside a little bit, but it deserves more attention because it's a great game. So hopefully Switch owners pick it up as well.
Yeah, I think they will.
I've been meaning to try that game. I saw the previews for the graphics look incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Unreal Engine 4. I'm not sure what it's going to look like on Switch, but I would imagine it's not too demanding.
Nah.
But it looks pretty good. Luca, did you ever look into Little Nightmares? I think you'd like it.
No, I've never played it, but now that you said it's fucked up, I might have to give it a go.
It's actually really fucked up, honestly. I think you'd really like it.
Okay.
Good. It's really good. We've also got new Xbox One X Enhanced 360 games. We've already covered Crackdown. Colt, what's the gist on the rest of these?
We got Witcher 2 Enhanced, and we got I always blank when we do this. We got Forza Horizon 1, which is a great game, and I haven't had a hard time playing it because it looks so soft and dull. I haven't launched it yet on the X, but it got enhanced 9 times resolution, and Fable Anniversary. So yeah, cool.
And Gears 3, right?
No, Gears 3 was already enhanced, I think.
Wasn't it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was already
one I tried like a fraud. Sir X-Man, $10 super chat. Thanks, man. So yeah, you got a couple 360 enhanced games on the X. Rand, I know you're a massive fan of back-and-pack games. You play every one of them. I'm kidding, of course. You don't have time for those, quote unquote. But if you did have time, which one would you choose?
I would probably play Forza Horizon.
Horizon 1.
Yeah, that game is incredible. I think it's the second best Forza Horizon game. I think it's not as good as 3, but it's better than 2. It offers like a nice condensed racing experience, like arcade style. Crackdown 1 is great, but for me, Forza Horizon, you know what? Thinking about it, I'll change that to Witcher 2. Never mind. Witcher 2. The Witcher 2. Yes.
I was going to say, Forza Horizon 1's recent enough to where it doesn't look bad. Plus, now it's like 4K or whatever, close enough. It probably looks pretty damn good. Let us know if you tried it in the chat. I just figured, hey, good question. Rise of the Tomb Raider, Super Lucky's Tale, Sea of Thieves, and more are coming to Game Pass this month. Game Pass is an absolutely ridiculous bargain at this point. I know it's 3-year-old games. Who was it? Somebody said it was 3-year-old game. No one cares. But then they're talking about Halo 5 being in there, and that's a reason to get it. So I think I don't think it matters how old it is. It's great. It's one of the best looking games on the X to this day, and you get 60 frames with it as well. Plus, it's one of the best games of the generation.
But you didn't say, but you're talking about Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah. That one just got announced. So that was like the nice announcements we got. We got the 8 new games for Game Pass, and then these enhanced games. So like Microsoft's really been pushing pretty hard to kind of make up some lost ground while we wait for real big news to come, for E3, right? That's how I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm guessing. I mean, I'm imagining that they're kind of sitting on a stockpile of just missiles, and they're aiming them at the naysayers this E3, and we'll see what happens, man. People forget that this is something like, oh man, everyone acts like every year Xbox has no games and all this trash, and it's like 2017, 1 year. 2016 we had like Record, Gears, Dead Rising 4, Forza Horizon 3, was it, or some shit like, and plus a few other things throughout the year. And 15 was even probably crazier. You had Rise of the Tomb Raider and Halo 5 and Forza 6 and all this other stuff. And
they've got that amnesia about the end of 2017 was pretty big for Xbox with the X and with Forza 7 and Cuphead. And, it was a slow first part of the year, but
it was a bad back half too. Oh, yeah. When you can compare to the previous years, that's what I'm saying. But people have taken 2017, compressed it into a little pill of bullshit, and then they shove it in their ass, and it dissolves, and they spew it out of their mouth. And it's unfortunate because I think the platform's done well over the past couple of years. Regardless of if you personally find certain games appealing or not, they've been there historically. So I think this year's a return to form.
Dealers freewheeling with the adjectives today.
Yeah, dude, I think the Game Pass offerings this month were pretty damn incredible. I mean, Sea of Thieves, being able to play it for $10 right when it comes out. Rise of the Tomb Raider, a fantastic game, one of the best of this gen. And I know people are going to scoff, but Super Lucky's Tale is a pretty decent platformer, which only came out 3 months ago.
What'd you give it?
I give it like a 7.5. I think. I mean, it's a cool game.
Not bad.
It's like it's like a, it's a 5-hour experience. It's not Super Mario Odyssey, But I mean, think about that. Microsoft is giving a new game that's literally 3 months old, and I mean, I thought it would eventually go into Game Pass. I didn't think it would go in this fast.
It makes sense, right? It's not selling consoles, and it's not selling a bunch probably. I was gifted a copy, and I booted it up and kind of looked at it, but I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Now, why isn't Forza 7 in there?
Why aren't any of the Forzas in there?
Yeah, exactly. That's something like Forza Horizon 2, that would be big in Game Pass, but
oh yeah, I'd love that.
I think we're probably going to get a big announcement at E3 with all the past games coming directly to Game Pass, like all of the Microsoft first party games.
I would imagine they want to space it out for the year because there's only so many games that they can put in there. So it's like maybe you'll get one Microsoft game per month, so maybe next month it's, I don't know, Forza Horizon 2, then the month after that something else, and then a couple months later it's Forza Motorsport 6. I don't think they want to blow their wad in like 1 month. They just kind of string along the content.
Yeah, makes sense until Forza 8 comes out next year, right? Then you better have the rest of them in there by then, or figure out what the hell you're doing. We do have to give a shout out to over 450 people watching this live, guys. Let's try to get up to 300 likes for the end of the show. It's kind of a shorter show, Rand. I'm sure you noticed over the past, however long you've been watching.
Yeah.
An hour, and we
it's good because even though I can't say anything, I do want to go back and play some Deep Rock Galactic. So,
man, you got me excited. People in the channel remember me talking about this game, and yeah, it's a little like indie game, but it looks really.
Yeah, it comes out tonight at midnight. It's Project Dwarka.
I'm getting
the canceled concepts from the Press Play studio that Microsoft shut down.
So is this from Press Play?
No, they formed one of the bunch of people there formed a new studio, and they took the project. So this is what it would have been. So you'll get to experience tonight when it launches at like midnight Pacific.
But you can confirm that it is pretty polished. It feels really good for a preview game. Right?
I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, you can't. Okay, well, I'll confirm it for him. It's pretty polished for a preview game. Rand didn't break any rules, though.
Can you confirm that there are space dwarves?
Yeah, can you confirm?
Yes, there are space dwarves with beards and guns.
Ah, you broke the NDA.
Hey, Kingdom Come Deliverance already sold well past 1 million, apparently. Big surprise. We had talked about that game before. Really slow, old-fashioned style RPG, but it's definitely got an audience. Luca, you probably don't even know what this is, do you? Do you know what Kingdom Come Deliverance is?
Yes.
What have you seen from it?
I've just heard that it's an old school styled RPG. I heard that they are going to change how you can save in the game because some people are complaining about it. I've heard several things about the game, actually. I was actually looking into it. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up just because of the combat. I don't really like first-person sword play.
Gotcha. Colt, you see Underachievers super chat there, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the message got across. So, Kingdom Come, for those thinking that game is just probably going to flop and fail, it's apparently already somewhere unprofitable, so that's good. XCOM 2, now Xbox One X enhanced. Any XCOM fans on the panel here?
Meh.
I played the first one. It's cool. Not my type of game, but it's a cool idea. I'll say that. Like that strategy element added to it.
Yeah.
What if they did that for Gears? What if they did a Gears XCOM game? Would you be down for that, dealer?
No, not turn-based.
Not turn-based?
Not a turn-based strategy. But I love an RTS.
I tell you what I am excited for is that Cyberpunk 2077. You see the devs talking about how it's going to be a lot more ambitious in The Witcher. Oh, man.
And the devs are already talking about next gen. Do you see that?
Yes.
It's going to be a cross-gen game?
Yep.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. They're talking about it. Like, supposed to take advantage of next-gen technology. I think that game's going to launch in 2020 and be PS5, PS4, Xbox, whatever, and Xbox One back.
Makes sense. I mean, we've seen the difference between the S and the X, right? With just a patch, so you just boot it up on your whatever the hell it's called, and then it gets a patch, and boom, there you go. Clayton White, $4.99 in the super chat just because you can. Thanks, man.
I think we'll be in a good spot with the Pro and the X when next gen comes. I mean, I think people can drag their feet a little bit if they have the mid-gen hardware. Yeah. And I'm still on the side that's happy with the option to upgrade, earlier than to wait full generations.
Yeah. I don't think the PS4 Pro, I don't think it's really going to survive that mid-gen because it's already getting blasted. Like, we got Fortnite in their best mode. It's running at 1080p compared to the 4K on the Xbox One X, and that's a huge disparity. It's just going to get worse. So
I don't think it's 4K. I think it's 17 something 100p.
It's dynamic 4K.
It's a lot. It's a lot better than what's on the Pro, though. That's for sure.
The Pro has dynamic 1080p, right? When you're in the 60 frames mode.
I think there's like a 4K 30 mode, and then you're right. Then the 60 frames per second mode, it dips a little bit here and there. It goes dynamic.
And let's not throw a big fuss. I mean, the visuals on Fortnite, when you get dynamic resolution, are you going to notice on that type of style of hard drive?
So I've got a confession. I'm really 3 ducks in a man costume. No, I played Fortnite Battle Royale, and I'm not so sure I'm going to play PUBG anymore.
Wow.
Oh.
And that's not going to be a popular opinion, but if you play Fortnite, you're like, holy shit, same 100 characters on the map. I know the map's a little smaller, but it doesn't account for that kind of performance delta between frame rates. You've got not only a locked 30, but a locked 60 frames per second in Fortnite. And even though it's got a more cartoony color palette, the game still looks better because of the effects. And it's just so smooth, and it's just going to be so hard to go. And it's just a good game. So I kind of wrote it off before, but I got to say, guys, if you haven't tried Battle Royale on the X with 60 frames, which it is 60, give it a whack.
Here's the thing that threw me off on that, why I haven't tried. I've downloaded it. It's on my X, but I just haven't touched it yet. And it's the fact that you got to build stuff. That kind of turned me off. It's like, do I want to build shit?
You don't have to build stuff, but yeah, there's that element.
No, you never have to in a match.
We all went online, and we all went online, right? Colt, you were there, right?
Yep.
Maybe it was someone else, but me all day, and I think Colt, maybe Salty. We went online and you know, we were in the house. We were destroying it, getting weapons, stuff just like you do in PUBG. You go get weapons, you land, you go get weapons, blah blah blah. You hang out with your buddies, you try to survive. But you know, I was on the roof, and all of a sudden, this guy built a staircase up to the roof and came up behind me and shot me. And I had to retrain myself to think that you aren't safe unless you have, you know, some kind of safety net with you. You're just not. So there are some differences, but they really ripped off the PUBG mode hard, and they're running with it. And now jetpacks are coming apparently. So
yeah, I saw that. Did they really rip off the mode from PUBG though, or was it something that they were already building?
I mean, I know. Go ahead, Rand.
It's a copy of a copy of a copy
of a copy of a copy.
Yeah, PUBG is a copy of H1Z1.
Yeah,
you know, like and they, you know, Epic just took PUBG and I mean did it their own. I mean, so many games are copying it, but you gotta respect Epic on this one. They are putting a lot of time and attention and work into updating Fortnite every single week. And I look at the blue hole in PUBG and I'm just like, yeah. When are you gonna make the game? Like, you know, I'm at the point now where I'm done with PUBG on Xbox.
If we could just get rid of rubber banding, just at least get rid of that.
I just want a lock 30 I'm not even asking for 60 frames. I know that's a pipe dream. Just give me a lock 30 frames throughout the entire.
That's the thing, though, Rand. It should not be a pipe dream. It's just like people acting like PUBG. Oh, well, it just can't do Xing strong enough. You know, it's not the hardware though. The CPU is not the greatest. You know, you've got other games that do the same thing in the color palette and all the visual stuff you see on screen. That's the GPU side of things, right? The CPU stuff is the streaming in the map and all that stuff. You know, that's what's going on with PUBG. That's the bottleneck. And they both have the same amount of players and all that stuff, a big map, one slightly bigger, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason PUBG should not at least be an absolutely locked 30 frames per second. Minimum. Especially if you see in Fortnite. So, I don't know, man. Epic made the engine. They AAA'd it up. What can you say?
Bigger team, bigger thing, big game because it's free. It's like it's got a lot going for it.
Yeah, I don't know. This wasn't even a topic, but we just kind of got off subject. We apologize. Hey, we got a PlayStation 4 exclusive that no one gives a shit about. Wise Origin, right? What is it? Ease Origin?
East Origin.
That's coming to Xbox. What's it called, Rand?
Yes. I have no idea how you pronounce that game.
Oh, Colt read it off to me, so blame Colt.
East Origin, I think it is.
It's a JRPG or something, right? Luca, have you heard of this? Have you heard of this at all?
No.
Oh man, Luca doesn't even know about it. Nobody gives a fuck about it.
Nobody knows about it.
Next topic.
Hey, you know how you talked about like overreactions with State of Decay 2 and stuff like that. So someone sent me a link to Best Buy, and they're selling Xbox Game Pass for $11.99.
For how many months?
One.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
that's like Canadian prices.
I don't know if that means anything.
Ask them if they're in Canada.
No, it's the U.S. site.
I
mean, you can go to bestbuy.com, searching Game Pass. I just did. It comes up, and the card says $11.99 on it. I don't know if it means anything, but I'm just saying. Look for videos probably later tonight.
Game Pass is fucking $12.
$2 more expensive now. Cancel.
Yeah. What's wrong? Well, according to your logic, it went up $2. It should be better, right? So don't worry about it, right? So I don't know. Some of these Sony guys, it's funny.
Ease Origin, they're saying, like, please without the PL.
Ease Origin.
Ease Origin.
Ease Origin. Has anybody in the chat heard of Ease Origin? I sure haven't. But apparently it's a huge Xbox game now, and it's come to Xbox, so it's massive. It's the biggest game of the decade. So you guys should know that. Hey, we got Battlefield. The next Battlefield going to be playable at EA Play before E3. Rand, what do you think this is? You think it's Bad Company 3? Give us the deal.
Yes, I think it is. There was rumors earlier in the actually middle of last year that they were bringing back Bad Company 3, and I think with EA, this is the Battlefield game fans have wanted. There's a lot of love for Bad Company.
Yep. And
they've talked about they really said they weren't going to bring it back, but you know, with them doing a Battlefield game like this year, which I didn't really expect, it makes sense to do Bad Company 3. Kind of give the fans the bone here, which EA kind of does there, you know, here and there. So yeah, I expect it to be Battlefield Bad Company 3 and really have no relation to the other two, you know?
I hope that the progression systems from Battlefront and Battlefield 1 don't make their way into this game, because you know, I'm tired of the 4 guns per class thing. They're getting away with what they can, selling you the rest in DLC. Go back to Battlefield 4 where you had, you know, fucking 30, 40 guns in the game easily, and each of those had a ton of attachments, camos, and more. Like, they need to go back to the old progression. Like Battlefront 2, I want to enjoy.
Yeah, right. They won't, though.
Every time I try to level up, they're like, nope. I'm like, can I level up? And I'm like, nope. And then, you know, it's just, you don't unlock anything, and it's frustrating, and it takes the enjoyment out of the game. So they need to bring back the old progression system with Battlefield.
They won't.
Just pack it full of content, man.
It'll be loot box heavy, man. They're going the way of the loot box. It's so
well, they go the way of lose $3 billion from their stock.
Why? They're one of those publishers that every time they put out a game, it sells so many copies. They're a multi-platform publisher that makes all this big-time money, and they're squeezing like the little tidbits out with the. It's like it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good.
Zaire says squeezing the quarter till the eagle screams.
I'm loving UFC, but they have the one mode, the Ultimate Fighter mode, and that mode is just ridiculous with the loot boxes. Like, your fighter, you can build up your team. You need all the coins first of all, but like, say you get Conor McGregor, he doesn't have any of his moves. You have to purchase his moves. And sometimes you're not even going to get the moves that he has. He might be a Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert. Like, come on, man. What the fuck are you doing?
No, you have to get loot crates to loot boxes so you can change your red underwear on your character.
You gotta get the coins. Same concept.
An even worse offense was Need for Speed Payback, where you needed cards to upgrade your car.
Nonsense.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous. Let us know if you guys have played any of those. Also, shout out to almost 500 people watching live. Hit that like button if you can. Try to get up to 300 before the end of the show. If we can, that would be awesome. Hey, we got Naughty Dog working on something besides a third-person game. No real details on this. It could be first-person. My thing is, just like what I said with Perfect Dark, if it's not special, if it doesn't do anything new, then I'm not excited for another first-person game, right? So I don't know. What are you thinking about this Luca?
I think that as long as it's a good game and has a good story and good at gameplay, then it's great. You know, devs should be allowed to follow.
They should be able to make whatever they want, right?
Yeah, they should be allowed to make whatever they want.
But would you say that you know, the game should offer something new as another first-person shooter, or at least what Naughty Dog do best, and a great story or something? It's got to separate itself.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sure the game will be great. They've built up a pedigree for themselves.
Yeah, they always bring quality. Like they don't know how to make a game and make it a turd. I mean, The Last of Us was like, we didn't know. Like, you know, they did such a great job with Uncharted, and of course, The Last of Us looked cool because you knew a Naughty Dog could bring the power, and that game amazed everybody. So if they're gonna make something first person, it's gonna please everybody, I'm sure.
Hey, so Rand, you got any ideas on? I'm over here with the mic muted talking about tortillas for some reason. You got any? You got any idea what this might be? What are you hoping it'll be, Rand?
I honestly, I don't really care. Whatever Naughty Dog does, if it's first person, third person, no person. You know, an RTS, I don't care. Like, I'll play it. They're one of, if not the best developer in games right now. Yeah. Although, I mean, when you think of Naughty Dog, you kind of lose a lot of the connection to the characters sometimes if you do go first person. Like, you can see Nathan Drake, you can see the characters, you can see their facial animations and all that stuff. You kind of lose that when you go first. So maybe they prototype stuff, but I don't really see them using it anytime soon. I'd imagine they stick to their bread and butter, which is third person.
Well, Rand, think about this, because I like 98% agree with what you just said, and then all of a sudden I thought about Wolfenstein New Colossus. Like, normally a first person shooter, you're supposed to be like anonymous, or you're supposed to put yourself in the boots of that shooter. But the way that Wolfenstein New Colossus, like, they put so much personality into BJ, and they show him in cutscenes, and like you feel for that character. And just think about what Naughty Dog could do with the way that New Colossus was handled. Then you're like, okay, yeah, I can see how that works.
I caught myself thinking exactly what Rand was thinking about the third and first person thing. I was thinking, man, every game that I play that I'm really engrossed in with the story, I always do see the character, and it makes me feel more like that character. Whereas a first person, every time I think first person shooter, Call of Duty comes to mind. Or something like that, right?
Or Halo.
And not even just Halo, like something with even less of an emphasis on some kind of overarching story, a Call of Duty. Even though World War II story, I think, was decent in terms of the character connections, Pearson and whatever. But you get what I'm saying. Like normally those third person games help with the story aspect of things. And when you go first, you kind of lose some of that. But at the same time, Wolfenstein was a great example of how to do a first person story. So I don't know. Do you got any opinions on this?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna call it right now. I think it's gonna be a first-person sci-fi adventure kind of game. I really think so, because sci-fi is kind of taking over right now. You know, like how, you know, it was the 80s shows, the 90s shows. Now sci-fi is really starting to take over. It's the flavor of the moment, and I think the next game will probably be something sci-fi. I think they're going to step outside their box and give us something different. And I have faith in Naughty Dog. To be honest with you, they haven't made a bad game yet. They make good games. I own a PlayStation only because of Naughty Dog games. That's the only reason why I own a PlayStation. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it. So I think they're going to release something new, and I think it's going to be good.
You know, the more good games you make in a row, the higher the odds of you making a bad game. You know, it's like when I listen to like Tech Nine or something, I'm like, man, how many fucking good albums can you make in a row? Like eventually you're gonna run out of luck, bud. And you know, that's how I feel kind of about some of these developers, though. Naughty Dog, like you said, nothing bad so far. Definitely super quality.
They're so talented. They're like a step beyond everyone else. The only other company I can put inside their realm is CD Projekt Red and Rockstar. Everybody else, they pale in comparison.
Well, Bethesda's up there.
I used to be able to put Bungie up in there, but yeah,
now you put anymore. Bungie up in somewhere else.
I had Bungie was my greatest, my favorite developer of all time, and yeah, look what happened with them.
Yeah, I mean, look at Reach compared to Destiny 2. Yeah,
I'm sure Luca's favorite developer is probably the hacks that make the Dark Souls series, right?
I'm sorry, I don't speak to anyone who can't beat the first boss in Dark Souls. Right?
I have 1,000 gamer score in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, I'm talking about the other Souls games.
I just got a notification. Luca just blocked Rand and all social media.
Hey, we do got to talk about January NPD. The Nintendo Switch took it, and PlayStation 4 was second, Xbox was third. And this was, of course, Microsoft's biggest January ever, I think, with the X1, right, Rand?
Yep, that is right.
The margin of sales was almost in the margin of error, really. It was 3% difference between the first and third place. So everyone did phenomenally well overall.
That's good.
I don't know. Do you got anything to say on this? I know you're ready to uppercut somebody with a rising uppercut.
You know what? I think it's good for the gaming industry as a whole, but I think it shows how far Microsoft has come back, because last year I wouldn't expect them to be close to any of these consoles. You know what I'm saying? And since the X has come out, they've been getting some momentum back. So being 3% within each other, I don't think anyone loses here. I think everyone wins.
They must still be selling X's at a good rate. You know, maybe it's not record breaking. Maybe it's, you know, it may be outselling the Pro sometimes, but I think the X must be doing pretty well, as well as the S selling tons because it's so cheap, and they've had amazing bundles, and PlayStation hasn't had to bundle stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's really good to see them so close in a time when everyone thinks that Xbox is out for the count, right?
Yeah. I also want to get to this topic real quick too, and I want to start with Rand here. The big Sega deal. Oh, what is going on? Inform the people that might not know what exactly is going on and what you think about this.
So Sega, I believe Sega of Japan visited Microsoft, and during that deal, Microsoft purchased Sega, all their IPs. They're collaborating on a Dreamcast 2. They're bringing Dreamcast games to back and pat. and Game Pass. Vanquish 2 was greenlit. Whole bunch of stuff. Good stuff.
Wow.
By the way, I'm joking.
I was gonna say, what the heck? I'm sticking my Dreamcast disc in the X. I'm like, man, what the heck's going on?
All this great stuff. I don't know. Like they just met. Maybe they met for lunch. Maybe they were talking deals. I don't know. I mean, you did have the Vanquish 2 rumor pop up from an industry insider, and I use that in quotes because a lot of people despise that guy because he really isn't an insider. He just kind of makes stuff up.
Which guy?
Stuff at Marcus Sellers. So that one, I don't know, like Vanquish 2, I would love it.
So is there any part of this has been confirmed? Like, what do we know?
None of it.
Why do people?
None of it.
So the meeting didn't happen.
Oh, the meeting happened.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened.
So there's something. There's a meeting. They're like, hey, man, we got a bunch of money. We usually buy waffle makers with it, but we can pay you to make a game. Like,
he's
you
like,
don't think it's going to happen?
What are you going to order for lunch? He's like, Sega! Can't get anything out of him other than Sega.
Well, I did a video on this a couple of days ago, and like I at first I was like, this is just bullshit, right? But then I was on like Reddit, and Major Nelson posted, oh, I can't wait to share the great Xbox One news with all of you guys, yada yada. And then I went on Sega's Twitter, and that's when I saw that they were actually at the Microsoft's offices. Now, the only thing that makes sense for me for them to be doing some type of collaboration is backwards compatible games for Game Pass. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, to be honest with you.
I don't think that would require a meeting. That would require an email. You know what? Here's the thing. Think about it. When's the last great, amazing game Sega made? And I know that Sega fans are really, really hardcore guys, and I'm not going to take anything away from them. But what I'm saying is factually, critically.
Did you enjoy Halo Wars 2?
Yeah, I know that they helped publish that, but Ensemble is who made the game.
No, they made Halo Wars 1. Creative Assembly made Halo Wars 2, and they're owned by Sega, so technically a Sega studio.
But that's like a studio Sega acquired more recently.
What does Sega put out this generation for consoles?
They put out Alien Isolation from Creative Assembly, which was I love that game.
So you think it might be a new Creative Assembly game, maybe?
Possibly. I mean,
but usually they do RTSs, but then they did do Alien Isolation, which people did like.
I can't imagine. I mean, the Sonic franchise has been on decline for ever since the Genesis. What else do they have? I mean, Bayonetta, which
Switch.
They're old games. Those are the games that are dear to gamers' hearts. Like if they came out with a Dreamcast collection, people would be hyped about that. That was a beloved system. I just don't see them doing anything current that people would be getting hyped for. The only thing that makes sense is their older games because they have so many of them.
Smiggy G says Sega has tons of great IPs. Yeah, if you guys know, let us know, man, because we're blinking. Rand's right. Alien Isolation made some waves. They tried. They really optimized the game. It looked really good for what it was when it came out. But other than that, Halo Wars 2, which they are traditionally an RTS team, so it's really good that they did well on Alien Isolation, even though it did have its problems. What other type of game do you think maybe we're counting on Ensemble at this point? Because if they bring Sega back and make it Xbox exclusive or something, it's like I don't care about
Sega
that.
Published Vanquish back in 2010. That's kind of a weird thing because that was developed by Platinum, and Platinum was sitting there out to lunch while Scalebound was supposed to be worked on.
So I'm getting Phantasy Star, Streets of Rage, Altered Beast.
Yeah, those are dormant. Like they haven't. I mean, they did a Golden Axe last gen, but it was terrible and nobody bought it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sega really doesn't do much. I mean, I guess they could do a kart racing game, right? Sonic and Sega Racing or whatever there was.
Yeah, it's all last gen stuff, isn't it?
They could use some of these old IPs because they were great IPs back in the day, but they'd have to really go balls in AAA and give us a completely new spin on the game,
And they could. Nobody really expected Alien Isolation, so I'm not taking any possibilities away from them, but I'm going off what they've made, and then what they've made in the last 20 years. Very little has appealed to me, but that's just me. So you never know. Sega did just kind of go through a reboot, right? And we'll see what they end up producing. But until then, that's kind of the Sega deal. That's what's going on. They did meet, but nothing official, nothing crazy so far that we know of. I have a feeling we'll find out more at E3, as we always will. And we're going to move on to some PlayStation 5 stuff. An analyst predicts that PlayStation 5 is definitely coming out in 2020. He says that the PS4 sales in 2018 will eclipse those of 2019 because of PlayStation 5. At this point, we have no real information on PlayStation 5. I know there's a ton of fake articles out there talking about specs and 10 teraflops and 16 gigs. None of that's real.
It's clickbait videos.
Yeah, it's nothing. A couple of clickbait videos about one coming in 2019. Which was a good video. It's a good video.
A couple of YouTube frauds did one on that is coming in 2020.
Yeah,
it's just bull crap like that.
Yeah, but we never claimed to know exact specs or anything. We do know the architecture. It's going to be Ryzen cores, of course, and all that good stuff. Same for the next Xbox. We cover this to death. Check the channels. But yeah, new analyst forecast. That's just what he's saying. 2020. Like it or not, it's coming soon. Keep in mind the Pro and the X for iterative upgrades, mid-gen refreshes, whatever you want to call them. We knew what they were when we bought them, and people complaining, that's kind of funny to me because we all knew what it was when we bought it. We all knew that was the middle of the generation, not a new generation. So, if you had the money, you bought it. That's what it is. We've also got some E3 stuff when it comes to what Microsoft and Sony may announce or what news may come out of the conference. We're talking $50 price cuts on both the X and the Pro. That's what's going on right now or around right now. Do you think this is enough, Luca? Maybe to make the X more competitive with the Pro, or it's already outselling the Pro. But do you think this is enough to maybe make people see the value? Because they don't always think about the 4K Blu-ray player. They don't think about that stuff when they think about the price difference.
I think a price cut is good, but I've already been seeing price cuts for the X around. Like, there's been a lot of deals, so.
I mean, like an official one, like a permanent one.
Yeah, I think that would be, that would actually be really good. That'd be really soon, too, because it just came out.
A year? Yeah. I mean, the original Xbox got a price cut sooner than that, I think. So, or maybe it came in June. Maybe it was around the same time, actually. So
yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So
around June.
I don't know.
But they also dropped the Kinect.
Yeah, they did drop the Kinect, which they should have never forced upon everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a little unknown bundles going on right now with Samsung. If you buy certain TVs, they actually throw in an Xbox One X. So there's other ways of getting it too for cheap.
What TVs?
The Q7, the Q8,
the QLEDs that you shouldn't buy the first year around.
Yeah, the QLEDs. But
avoid
still,
the QLEDs, people. If you don't have one, avoid them for now.
Yeah. But the QLEDs this year, the ones coming, I think they come out, probably start seeing them in March, late March, early April. Those ones are going to have full array. Those ones will be fine to buy. And plus, they're going to have that FreeSync technology. So
I was thinking about getting one before I got the OLED, man, but it didn't stack up to the OLED. It didn't even come close. So I was like, nope, why would I do that?
OLED is life.
OLED is life. So yeah, that's kind of the consensus right now. If you're looking to get an X, you're probably going to get a price drop around E3. Maybe not. Sony didn't do that last year, right? They didn't feel like they had to because the X was already more expensive. So it could be that this doesn't happen at all.
I think the Pro needs a price cut for sure. It's just doesn't compare, and especially for the price difference, it needs a price cut for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. Speaking of the whole Vanquish 2 thing, Rand, you said there was really no validity behind that. Is that what you were saying?
I don't think there is.
Okay.
I mean, the rumor is literally by one guy, Marcus Sellers. So I guess it's up to, do you believe him or do you don't? If you believe him, I guess it has validity. If you don't, then there is none.
Who is he?
Well, these rumors usually come from some partial truth. So maybe they've struck a 1-year timed exclusive deal, or I don't know. There's
why Vanquish though?
The difference with because Sega and Microsoft met, and Sega owns the IP for Vanquish, so it's like, you're looking at like what? Oh, Vanquish. There you go. That's what they met about.
Why Vanquish? Because they own a lot of IPs.
I know, but gamers have been asking for Vanquish. It recently was just added to back compat, so it's kind of in.
It's kind of on topic.
The news. Yeah. So I honestly don't see it being added at all. I mean, I don't see the rumor being true. I would like it to be true, but.
Well, maybe Platinum figured they better kind of do a solid for Microsoft since they left them high and dry on Scalebound. It's like, well, we've got this game almost done.
Well, the guy in the team that originally developed the game, they don't even work at Platinum anymore. They went to Bethesda, formed Tango Gameworks, and makes Evil Within 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I'm not trying to like raise the flag for a timed exclusive. I think they're actually absolutely worthless. A timed exclusive doesn't do anybody any favors. Like, I got my game before those guys. You know, I think that's stupid. But you know, it's like
it better be a full-on exclusive or none, right?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, sure, I'd love to play it on my X as soon as I can because I like the last one. And
the only reason a time exclusive is good is if someone else was going to get it and lock it from you first, right? Like, if everyone gets it at the same time, I still get to play it, so it's still just as awesome. Yeah, it may even be more relevant than it would be otherwise. Like Tomb Raider, a lot of people stopped talking about it because it was only on Xbox, and you know, yeah, they missed out on it for a year, but apparently it still sold really well. 7+ million. So,
you know, speaking of, I just lost what I was going to say. Speaking of timed exclusives, I don't know if you saw, but the Activision, they just had a conference call, and the CEO said that they will have more remasters from their IP catalog this year, and we already know one of them being Spyro because it leaked, right? Mm-hmm. And the other rumor is that they are remastering Modern Warfare 2 this year.
Oh God! There's already so many Call of Duties. Just remaster Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 in a trilogy bundle.
Not 3 though, just 1 and 2.
No, 1, 2, and 3. 3 has phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal co-op. I don't care what anybody says. It's great. Even though it does, you know, if that game were darker and stuff, yeah, it would be better. But it does have great co-op. A lot of people never tried it.
If you haven't played the Dead Space franchise, play 1 and 2, and just don't even bother with 3.
And if you just heard what Rand said, ignore Rand and play all of them.
Yeah, if you have someone who's into the game, play 3 with one of your friends because it's fun playing with friends.
Yeah, 3 was okay. It's just a little bit more of rinse and repeat, but 3 was okay.
Yeah, but the weapons you can make, they kind of integrate them with microtransactions, but you really didn't have to do that. Yeah, I mean, you could get well, what it was is you had the little robot and you'd send him out looking for resources, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he would find me a ton, and it was never an issue for me, so I didn't have to buy anything at all. But the more you searched around, you would find resource caches and out in space and stuff. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty fucking awesome. We got to give another shout out to almost 500 people watching live. Hit that like button if you can, guys. It really helps as we get into one of our final topics here. Phil Spencer's DICE speech, pretty controversial because a lot of people, I don't know, they call people snowflakes, but they're very sensitive about this. So me, myself, I kind of look at the situation and I kind of understand what I'm trying to understand what he's saying. This is a speech for millionaires. You got to understand this, right? This isn't a speech for the common gamer. The DICE thing isn't for gamers to even really watch. I don't even know why they really upload it. It's a speech to the industry. It's a speech to the industry, right? So he's trying to promote certain things. And yeah, do we all agree on it? No. Do I agree on every bit of it? Probably not. But I have to go back and watch it again to tell you what, right? So it's just one of those things where we're going to talk about it. And I want Luca to kind of lead on this one. But he talks about the value of world building and story in there too, which I thought was interesting. He talked about it quite a bit for being a company with no fucking single player games in development, right? So obviously they're talking about the value of world building and all that good stuff. He also goes on to talk about the hard times at the company, how team morale was just rock bottom. They were getting a new CEO, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already heard a lot about this. But he also goes on to talk about, the reboot of the company, how it was absolutely necessary when Satya came in. And then he keeps going by talking about kind of, employee equality and diversity and kind of goodwill type stuff throughout the company and promoting harmony and becoming a more efficient machine as a result. That's really what it boils down to. Luca, what did you get from this? And what were some of the things that you kind of PG-13 wise came away with this?
Well, he just wants he wants there to be more inclusivity and more diversity. I don't see what the issue is. And the speech was very good. It was very well spoken.
It's almost an hour, right?
It was 45 minutes, like 43, 45 minutes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a good speech. A lot of people were upset about it, but people get triggered over everything, so whatever. But I mean, I like the message that he's promoting, and it's like you said, Dealer. Like, these guys are in the business to make money. They don't want to exclude anyone.
No, he talked about India being an emerging market and stuff. Like I said, a speech for millionaires. Motherfuckers trying to make a lot of money. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Rand did a great video on it.
Thanks.
Yeah. What did you say, Rand, in your great video?
My great video. I mean, I enjoyed it from like the look that he compared and contrast like how game worlds have to change because you have to include everybody because, like you said, it's a speech for millionaires to other millionaires about how to make more money, and you do that by, you know, making sure everybody feels safe and welcome, but then also contrasting that with the change that Microsoft had to go through after their new CEO came in. And I really enjoyed the kind of inside baseball look where he talked about how after the Xbox One came out and it flopped, like even the people who made Xbox didn't trust the leadership team at Xbox anymore.
Because they were keeping secrets and plans away from, you know, they were kind of dividing everybody and be like, no, it's above your pay grade to know what we're up to. And we'll tell you when you're ready to do it.
Yeah, and that they felt that they weren't in touch with what consumers wanted. You know, they thought consumers wanted a $500 Xbox with a Force Connect that was underpowered. I mean, clearly they were wrong. So the fact that he admitted that his own team didn't have any faith in Xbox anymore, the people that make Xbox, was kind of an eye-opener, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't that triggered by it at all. You know, it was predictable. You already knew what was going to be said. And me, I look at the results so far in the last 4 years, how much more consumer-focused Microsoft have been. I look at their policies that have been pro-consumer. We used to have to pay to watch Netflix on our console. You used to have Xbox Live to do that, right? Like, a lot's changed in a positive way, and they've done more for the consumer this generation than anybody when it comes to the platform. That's just a fact. They offer the services and stuff that are super compelling with Game Pass now. Some people still think negatively when they think Game Pass, and they don't even know why when you ask them. They just do.
And Play Anywhere.
Yeah, it's just,
you know, it was funny from Phil Spencer's speech. Like, everybody kind of held a mirror up to themselves when he started talking about the toxic community in gaming. Like, that was one of the big takeaways from his speech. Is everyone's like, "Oh, Phil addressed all the toxic gamers," which really wasn't exactly what he was looking at. But it kind of, for a moment there, for a couple of days on social media, a lot of people were addressing how toxic the community is. And it's funny, I found this Twitter account called like Watching You or something. It's called Watching You, I think. And there's like this team of people that evaluate fanboys, because a lot of people think fanboys run one direction. Like, that, you know, if you're an Xbox cheerleader, you're a big fanboy, but you've got these people on the other side bashing other consoles. And so what this account does is people submit a name and then they go back and look at their history and then they call them if they're a fanboy or not. But it's like,
maybe it was pretty great. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like, Luca got evaluated. I got evaluated
as a corporate cocksucker. Blah blah blah. Like, how bad was it?
Okay. Mine says our team review of the Ash and Luca indicates this user is not a fanboy. Justifications: plays multi-platform, doesn't white knight any system, rarely engages in fanboy debates. User does associate with known fanboys, but from all platforms. Doesn't like mayo-covered humans.
That's weird, right? It's like it's so Twitter personal.
Is like these scary eyes, and it says like, "You are a fanboy." What's the name of the Twitter account?
It's U_R_A_fanboy, and it's R, just the letter R.
And Cold was labeled really a Defense Force fanboy.
Yes, yeah, I got labeled as a Defense Force fanboy. It like had me pegged really well. Yes, it's like, I don't overly bash. I'm not toxic, but I defend Microsoft.
You just correct
like it's
idiots and their misconceptions. That's
Crackdown. What did it say about me?
I don't know. We should submit you.
Submit D-Batch's
Wait,
name.
Colt submitted Kratos.
Yeah. Have we heard back yet?
Oh, that's going to be bad. That's going to be really bad. Hey, you know who else got submitted? You know who else got submitted, Colt?
Who did? Oh, Titanfall Princess, one of my big fans.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one too. I was like, ooh.
That's going to be super bad.
Yeah, she blocked the account immediately, like, what? Block.
Yeah, her evaluation was pretty bad, bro. It was pretty bad.
Yeah,
I think we're giving her more attention than she deserves. I know she doesn't even think she deserves as much attention. She knows. She already knows.
Yeah, so. just be nice, guys. You know, you can do what I do. I try to correct people on stuff, but you know, don't be such a jerk. My
issue, man, is you go on Luca's show, you talk about toxic people in the community, these stupid fucks that use Budweiser as lube and live in a trailer court. They make a video about you, talking about Xbox fanboy talks about toxicity in community. What the fuck are you even talking about? Are you stupid? Do you not watch cult stuff? When does cult promote toxicity? 1 and 1 equals 2. So, you know, it's just one of those things. You just do your research. You look stupid. Learn how to spell cat. You know, just Hooked on Phonics should be the next game you play. It's, you know, it's very simple to get along with people. Just fucking mind your own fuckhole. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Always being so negative about everybody when we don't give a fuck about you. We don't even know who you are. We don't watch your shit. Stop watching ours. Stay in your own lane. Mind your own fuckhole.
Yeah, just get online, play some games, party up with somebody. Like when we get on party chat and we play Xbox, like we have a good time. We have some laughs. You know, gaming's supposed to be fun, and I think that speech that Phil Spencer gave is probably, maybe some people did need to look in the mirror.
This generation, that's the one thing gamers forgot. They forgot to just have fucking fun. Like back in the day, we fought over Sega, Nintendo, all this shit. But when it came down to it, we enjoyed our games and we would talk about each other's games positively. I don't know, man. This gen is truly toxic.
A lot of us are positive, and for some reason they got us pegged wrong because they don't watch our shit. But that's a them problem. And when they then confront us about it and say, you're toxic, link me, motherfucker. Find something in the last couple of years. Good luck.
Well,
I used to be a bigger asshole back in the day, admittedly, but Jesus Christ, how long do I have to pay for that, right?
On this very podcast, I admitted that the reason why I have a PlayStation is because Naughty Dog, they're like one of my favorite, if not my favorite developers. So what does that tell you? And I'm an Xbox guy. I love Xbox, but I like PlayStation too, and I like a lot of the titles that they
like
have
good games
this year. That's it. I just don't like some of their practices, but I like the platform, like the games on it.
Anyway, we're not really a drama crew. That's not how we grow an audience or accrue an audience. We don't need to do that. You guys join us because you're fucking awesome. You want good topics and discussion. We appreciate you guys showing up nonetheless. So you know, that's pretty much our hour plus, guys. Thanks so much for showing up.
Hey, hang on. You got a question that you told us.
We do have a question, and actually, that's a good thing you said something.
Okay. Wait, what?
Somebody's echoing.
Not at all one time, guys.
Okay. So Flamish Boy, he asks, I need help. I'm going to have my first Xbox in April, and I'm going to have that One X in May. I want to play all games X enhanced, but really want to dive in Xbox exclusives like Halo and Gears. What should I do? I don't own a 4K TV, but I heard super sampling is amazing. I love graphics. Opinions, please. Real quick, my first question is, why are you buying a base Xbox in April only to buy the X in May?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, I thought he was asking the question.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's odd to me. I would just.
So what would you recommend to him as somebody who wants to kind of jump in the exclusives, but he's on a 1080p screen? What do you think he'll benefit from? What game do you think he'll be like, wow? I think it's Gears 4, 60 frames.
Gears 4.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And even on a 1080p display, he's still going to see the difference over the regular Xbox.
The higher settings and whatnot. Let us know what you recommend in the chat for this guy, if you guys heard the question. New to Xbox, wants to play some of these exclusives for the visuals. Gears in the 60 frames, pretty much high ultra settings. That's what that is. Yeah. Looks phenomenal. Amazing.
Witcher 3 and Rise of the Tomb Raider are also ones that you'll like go, whoa, that's an upgrade. And I don't even have a 4K TV because the frame rate's higher.
Yeah. And Forza Horizon 3 looks incredible with the 4K.
And make sure you grab Game Pass so you can try these games out, and of course EA Access too. EA Access got a lot of games in it as well.
Yeah, yep, a lot of good stuff, ton of good stuff. And if he's getting an X, just know that before you pull the trigger, man, they're gonna come out with a new one in a few years. So just know that. So for everyone joining us, thank you guys so much. We're gonna go ahead and start with some outros. I'm also going to link the League Gaming podcast down below. I highly encourage you guys to check that out. Support those that support the show. It helps a lot. So we're going to start with Rand, man. Thanks for coming on. And it was a little bit of a fucked up show, but we got through it, man. Thanks.
It's the only way I would have it, dealer. Thanks for having me on. If anybody wants to check out my content, you can check it out at youtube.com/RandolphOr19.
And Luca, as always, where can people find you?
Yeah, good show. You guys can find me at the Ashton Luca on Twitter.
Okay, that was what about your YouTube?
Oh yes, I also have a YouTube.
You do YouTube too.
Yeah, about YouTube.
I also have a YouTube channel. I run a podcast called Scumcast. I've had Rand and Dealer on, so you guys can come and check it out.
Yeah, I just kind of showed up one episode, and I think it cut off in the middle too.
Oh yeah, it did.
Man, but it was an interesting discussion. Hey D, where can people find you, brother?
You can catch me at D_batch on Twitter and D_batch on YouTube.
And Cole Eastwood, the Naughty Dog of YouTube. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Cole Eastwood on YouTube and Xbox and Twitter and everything. Yeah.
And everywhere. And just so you guys know, too, I've said this before, you know, I think once or twice, link your stuff in the comments. You know, if people want to find your channels and stuff, I want to make sure that people have access to that stuff. So check the comments, people watching when the show re-uploads or whatever. And I'm sure you'll see some links to some channels and support these guys. You know, as always, we do appreciate it. We're going to get out of here, let you guys enjoy your day. Thanks for those that showed up. I know it's kind of a slow news week, news day, whatever, but you guys are still here. Thanks so much. We're out.
Bye.
Peace.